They call it music. 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 They call it music.
Welcome to another special edition of the thing called Double Rock, thing called pure, raw, uncut, unadulterated Junkanoo News, King Man. We are live today to give you the best in Junkanoo News. What's going on? Yours truly top class in the place. Of course,
Paparazzi.
the paparazzi and the cameraman today is the paparazzi today, boss. We here to give you a nice exclusive show, boy. What's going on, boss?
Everything good, you know. Everything good. The Junkanoo world, everything good otherwise.
You know?
Land of the living.
Yeah, boss. But you see like brand new. We wrap up the Autism Awareness Month, you know,
Oh, yeah.
last week.
Okay.
Thing called in April, you know. But you know, you still gotta make people aware of silent disability, I call it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Invisible disability. But on the note, boss, we end to get into some fine things today. We talking today, Father. What
Yeah.
we talking about today? Because, you know, you a little touch, little on, a little everything today.
Yeah, it's an open mic, I guess.
Yeah,
we call it
they
an
call it
open mic session.
Thing called blind canvas.
Yeah.
There's a blind canvas type movement today.
Or blank costume, just black and white.
Black and white dudes come downtown with brown cardboard, boss. I ain't where you sleep. I get footage of dude. He all costume white in the back with the black lines, boss. The Sharpie. With the colors right on it. Dudes write the colors in it. They won't even basically that. What you call that? Get Jeff. He costume should have named Get Jeff. You think he's getting the what? You think he's getting the what?
This costume, they leave me alone, man.
Hey, Get Jeff, boss.
Leave
He
me
costume
alone.
get the name Get Jeff, boss. He
Yeah.
better hit the board.
Yeah.
So what's good today, boss?
Everything good, you know. I mean, just glad to be here once again with you guys.
You know, it's always a pleasure, buddy.
Yeah. You know, we brought to you by the Orange Economy. We like to big up the Orange Economy.
Live in the place. Don't forget, subscribe to all our social platforms. Thing called Junkanoo News Network, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. We live. I know we on X yet. You know, not the X, but the XX. You think we can get one of the, what they call it? OnlyFans page? And Junkanoo? But it gotta be Junkanoo, dog.
You are old of a can of worms. But I'm sure we can look into that.
I like that idea.
You know?
I know I'm talking about. I like that idea.
You know?
I could be beneficial to the audience.
Yeah, run the current, father.
Well, there you go.
See what I said?
See where ideas come from?
We just flowing.
Yeah. But this week I'd like to talk about a little subject was dear to me. I mean, I wouldn't say it's a subject, it's more of a person.
Yeah.
Last week, I think it was you? No, someone sent me a notice said that a very, how can I say it, dear friend or a prominent Junkanoo builder, artisan,
Yeah.
a person who has changed the way we do Junkanoo.
Yeah,
I guess we can
most
say
definitely.
that. Yeah, we can say that.
Yeah, you can say that.
We're going to talk about the passing of one Mr. Barry Miller. A lot of people may not know Barry Miller.
Especially the up and coming young ones.
Yeah, but yet again, a lot of people outside of the Valley Boys proper may not even
Wouldn't
know
even
about
know
Barry
what-
Miller
yeah,
per se,
yeah,
outside of maybe the schools.
Yeah.
Okay, Barry Miller was a English art teacher that came to the Bahamas, let's say right around the 80s, mid 80s, late 90s. I got introduced to him in the early 90s.
Okay.
All right. Mr. Miller was one of the builders for the Valley Boys at the time, and he built my very first dancer costume. It wasn't much now, it wasn't much, but it was my first
It's
costume,
costume.
so you know, it meant a lot to me.
Yeah.
I would like, see, I don't want to get mixed up, and I don't want to give people credit when it's not due, or who's the first to do this. I hate to start to say, oh, he introduced this, and then he didn't introduce it.
Yeah.
But for me, Mr. Miller, I like to call him Barry. Let's just call him Barry. Barry changed the game for me. Although I may be wrong because I just came into Junkanoo.
Yeah.
But we were in a transition form from flatback into 3D. You know, three-dimensional, basically, what you see all around is what type of costume you have. And I think he was very instrumental in getting us from flatback
Flat to 360.
To 360, yeah, 360. I started, my first costume was in 1992, or was it 1991? It was the Freedom Morning, and the Valley Boys bought all the carved hands, carved heads, and all those things. So I joined Junkanoo really at a transitional point when a lot of things were changing.
Yeah,
And the thing about Barry Miller, he did a costume for Eric Scrap Knowles. It was called, I can't remember the perfect name, but it was the Gandhi costume. It was an Indian costume. They came with Freedom that year, and it was the Gandhi costume. So the setup of the costume was an elephant, Gandhi riding an elephant, with the statue with the multiple hands.
All the Hindi one.
Right.
Thing.
Behind the full body of Gandhi riding this elephant. Two peacocks on the side of the elephant, and a jaguar coming between the elephant legs. When I saw that costume, I was mesmerized, and I think that's my favorite costume for a very long time.
Okay.
And it wasn't so much. It was because everything looked so lifelike. Gandhi looked lifelike. The statue in the
Everything
back
looked
was
real.
gold.
Yeah.
The elephant was white. You don't see much white elephant, but you know what I mean. But
Yeah.
in Junkanoo terms,
Yeah.
the peacock was peacocking, looking something like your shape.
Right, yeah.
And the jaguar was paste black. I always remember this jaguar. Paste black and aqua stripes. But streaking on the, see how you remember this? I remember the color of the streaks. The streaks was gold, orange. So you got that black, gold, and orange, and then the aqua.
That's popping, the streaks is popping the colors.
Yes. And you don't even see that no more.
Yeah, no, we ain't getting into that kind of white dog. There's some show decoration on it.
You can cover it up anyway, yeah.
Yeah.
So that was my first introduction to Barry. Barry built me a flyaway costume father. pure builders burn out on, you know what I mean?
That's what the carpet. When you see a builder that builds so much costume when you come for costume, but you can get one little lick up, slick up, bam, booger, because that's what you call builders burn out. The builder that burn out, but he won't you go on the road, so he can give you anything for you to get on the road. It just ain't gonna be judgment, something with some real substance to it. So see, they can call burn out, he burn out. A lot of Junkanoo builders get burn out after a while because the workload, they're so heavy. And they want judgment discourage you from rushing, so they participating. So they build you a little something, man.
Yeah.
They give you a little boom and say, "Boy, let's show up the bait."
A little boom fly.
Yeah, but I remember Barry and the Shock. That's when we first started taking lead. I was working on a lead with Jerome Brown, aka Beaver. Yeah, and Barry,
along with boy.
Darcy and my boy Ploop,
Yeah.
boss. God
Rest in
rest his
peace.
soul,
Rest
my
in
boy
peace,
Ploop.
Yeah.
Man, when me and Ploop used to pace, boss, we used to be racing. You used to see who could be the neatest and the fastest.
But you always be racing them car too. You always be racing them. You always competing more than just pacing.
So we used to bring out the best of each other when we do Junkanoo Girls. Man, we trying to see who can pace the best and who can be the fastest.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, but the Barry was there building a scrap costume that year.
Yeah.
That was what, the 40th anniversary. I think that was for the 40th anniversary, the Wally Boys 40th anniversary. Plus we had our costume with silver slipper.
Okay, yeah, I remember that.
We had
one.
the silver slipper. That's when the shark. That's when the shark was there by Soldier Road.
That's
where what the tire place is now.
Yeah.
That's where Super Wash is now.
Yeah, Super Wash. Yeah,
down the
across the
back.
road from Dozer Heavy Equipment.
Yeah, boss. That's when the shark was down the back there. You know what I mean?
I forget the shark was there.
But shark. But that's a whole topic for another. A whole topic for another day because shark location.
Yeah, hell, we move plenty.
Now how much sharks is moving? What is be considered sharks? Boy, listen to me.
Boy, that's a show in itself.
That's what I said, boss. The shark. That's a whole culture.
Yeah.
That's a whole culture now. Yeah, but that's when I was introduced to Barry then there. But I see some of the works he put in as art. Like most art teachers now, they detail oriented. You know what I mean? So they put detail in whatever they put their hands to. No?
But there's a backstory to Barry too, because I think Barry was the one who introduced Jürgen Spangler to Junkanoo.
Okay.
And Spangler was the one who basically bought the
3D, the carve heads.
carve heads, carve hands, because we used to basically it was cardboard back then.
Yeah.
So that's just a little tidbit, the evolution of Junkanoo.
So
Whenever we write this book, we just gotta make sure we got to include the persons who really were instrumental in changing and developing Junkanoo.
See, and that's the thing, was when you start to lose these people, you start to lose history. Like they say, the most judgment knowledge right now in the graveyard.
Absolutely.
Because a lot of people passed away and they ain't tell the story.
Yeah. But we were fortunate. We did have Barry on the show.
We get footage
so
with
we're going to try and pull up some of those.
Be able to get some footage with them and let them tell a story.
Yeah, because nobody can tell you better than you.
Yeah,
that's
what I said.
I remember I actually, on that show, I can remember specifically giving him credit for something. He said, no, I only, he's so modest at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said that he wasn't the person who introduced it. He just enhanced it or he made it a little bit better in his time. So we just, want to say his family members, his loved ones, and the students. Don't forget, Barry was a teacher. He taught many students.
Yeah.
Throughout the arc. I wouldn't even say that. No, in Nassau.
Even the whole Junkanoo community at large.
Yeah, but I don't know exactly. I think it was C.R. Walker. C.R. Walker, Mr. Medusa? Can't remember? Okay, can't remember exactly what school it was. And I think Jack had something to do with introducing him to Junkanoo too.
Jack Knowles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway,
Jack bring plenty people in Junkanoo.
Plenty people in Junkanoo.
I want you to sleep.
So we just want to say to his wife, Mrs. Ann Miller, our condolences from JNN and the Junkanoo world.
Yep.
His children, Sharonda, Siobhan, Barrington Miller, Sterling and Jessica Green.
Yep.
And all the grandchildren, their soul rest in peace. And Barry will never be forgotten.
Yeah, boy.
I'll never forget you building my voice down, sir.
Even though it's only 5 weeks.
Although it was, even though it was only
that's what made it. You remember that because you remember that costume so dearly, even though it wasn't what we considered to be a top costume. You remember that, boss.
Let me give you this last memory of Barry and then move on to the next subject. When Barry, when you put the cardboard on the ground, you mark it out, right?
Yeah.
So Barry mark out these things for me, these fireworks. So it came slim and they go big in a big circle and then got all these designs in it, right? So tell me, say, cut it out. So back then you participate in building the
costume. Yep.
So I cut my pieces out. I ready to go now, boss. I ready to stick them on. So I say, no. You gotta put wire in that now. I don't remember the wire. I ain't ready to go.
You're ready to pace.
Ready to start pacing. But then, that's just one of the learning curves. But yeah, and to all our builders and all our our senior Junkanooers, man. We appreciate y'all so
Yeah,
very
buddy.
much. And don't forget, Alumni Junkanoo.
Oh.
Alumni Junkanoo. So pretty much after end, we should have some footage of Alumni Junkanoo
Yeah.
for you by the time this is
Then you
aired.
roll.
Yeah, so
You know how to
don't
take
forget
off.
it's Alumni Junkanoo coming. I wouldn't say coming up. Junkanoo, Alumni Junkanoo today.
Here.
Yeah, here.
Yeah.
So,
Here,
we'll definitely see you and yeah,
Carrying on.
yeah.
Yeah. But another news. Hey, you know what I find so intriguing today? I sat down and this thing ran across my mind. You know, Junkanoo is the only show, one of the only thing you can get a dude to wear a dress and a skate and it's normal.
Don't let them know they wearing skateboards.
Hey, listen to me. I sat down and think about that today. I had to laugh. I say, wait, Junkanoo dangerous, you know.
Hey, some fellas
Wait,
wear two skates.
Wait,
So one skate.
Junkanoo is the only place a serious man could go and wear a dress, a skate, or whatever, and tights.
A whole robe. Tight suit? Yeah,
And,
tights.
and feel normal.
Normal.
And feel normal, king.
Boy, look at us thing.
That's
Dangerous.
just sick.
Dangerous.
But I had to put that on that because I boys don't laugh and I think about that when I have that conversation. I thought about that when we was talking about the pies.
Yeah, last week. Oh, yeah, the pies.
I thought about that when we was talking about the pies,
the
you know?
The baker and his pies, eh?
Yeah. So I say, wait. And when you started to talk about, I say, no, soldier, that's pies. And then that ran across my mind, you know?
You know what? No fruits in their pies.
No. No, I gotta stay neutral. You know what I mean? But I had to get off on that part.
Yeah, you are absolutely right. Yes, we do
that
wear.
was a joke.
We wear. Some of us wear two skirts.
That's a joke, baby. You know what I mean? Yeah, but then the the Carifta just gone too, boss.
Congratulations to both the swimming and the track
Big
field.
up the team Bahamas.
Yeah.
Swim crew get what? That's just the 8 title?
Plenty.
7, 8.
Plenty.
They 7 titles.
Plenty.
By swimming, by look here. By and track and field.
Hey,
By
you're catching up, you know.
by look here for a little country, we doing major and big and major things. By look here, by we echo and then they just in the pens relay too. They had 3 years to run the place, boss. We had 5 seconds and 10 javelin, by look here. That's what I like now, by we judgment captain to dominate these field events. You see they going to Carifta, pole vault, not the sick, but I ain't got that much faith, man. There'll be no pole to go over there like that. No. Wait, you can imagine. Why watch some videos sometime where they show where them poles break?
Yeah, they break. Yeah, they break. Yeah, they break.
Wait, that's psychological king.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But they pick up to them pole vaulters, wait. That's one of the most interesting sport and field events for me, boy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean. But guess what? You know what my most exciting part about the whole Carifta experience was?
What's that?
Junkanoo boy.
When the Junkanoo take the chalk, eh?
Junkanoo boy.
But you see how, them Bayesians is getting on better than the Bahamians?
Because
You ain't see that, eh?
yeah, what I love about it, the whole thing is the artists were playing Caribbean music, so
Yeah.
so it was easy for them to
recognize and
recognize
understand.
the tones that were playing.
Yeah.
And don't forget now, we were in Trinidad.
Yeah, so you gotta bust,
So you gotta
a little bit
you
of
know,
soca.
you know what I mean? But it shows the versatility of Junkanoo, the
Yeah.
power of Junkanoo.
Anywhere we go, we can judgment fit in.
Yeah, and for the life of me, I mean, we all
Fit in
know
and stand out.
we all know Junkanoo is a experience. You feel it in your stomach, you feel it in your chest, as well as all your senses get touched. Your sights, the sounds, some cases even the smells. But no, that's just Mother Nature. But you know, I saw some Junkanoos a little while ago before I came here, and they were doing a little photo shoot, and that's a money-making opportunity. I was saying to myself, man, y'all be doing shows all the time. Y'all just supposed to be self-sufficient.
Yeah.
They come back to me and say, no, boss, don't work like that. You know, they only get called seasons,
Yeah.
but there's no set, like Monday show is 8 o'clock, Tuesday show is 7 o'clock. It's not like that.
Like that.
And I would like to try and get persons who manage these groups or who negotiate. Let's try and get some structure in there where it could be some formalization where these persons could actually make a living off of this instead of just getting calls seasonally and say, okay, we get this group in and they want you rushed this way.
We get you like a schedule, like I'm a Marina Village, the schedule.
That's what I'm thinking about. Yeah.
They go. They used to do. I know if they still do 2 days. I know it used to be what Saturday.
It was Saturday and I think it was Thursday.
Saturday, Wednesday,
Wednesday,
or
yeah,
like that.
They break it in two.
They roll over at a certain time.
Yes.
Each one of them days. That was routine. That was scheduled.
Right. Only in during the slow season they break it down.
They break it
to
to
one.
one,
And then they also have this very slow month month off.
Yeah.
But normally it's 2 days out of the week. But it'd be so good if you could actually have a. But then, it'd be so. Yeah, that's just wishful thinking in the perfect world.
Well, you got a wishful thing sometimes.
And you got to work towards it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You never know what could happen.
Yeah. So,
Might could be traveling for 5 days.
You know it's crazy. Jimmy Buffett carry our Junkanoo out for almost a whole year. You're talking about 5 days.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's my point. We probably marketing to the wrong people.
Are we digressing?
We probably marketing to the wrong people.
Are we going forward or are we going backward?
We need to be marketing international. Look here, boy. We can fly just like I did fly any other entertainer around the world. Look here, boy. I get a crew of 20, 30 people. This the business plan. You show them what you do, what we could perform, what we able to do for them, whatever event you holding. So if you have you having your conference in Las Vegas, and you need somebody to open up and close up your show, man, tell them you get something special straight out of the Bahamas. Those come there, put on a performance, bam. You then get them in there in Vegas, line up some other shows. Huh? Don't pump fake. So they start to make this a big business.
Yeah,
right?
we want to big up all the Bahamian. Better be careful how we say that.
Junkanoo troops.
We want to big up all the Junkanoo troops in
Yeah,
the US doing big things. We got Florida, we got Atlanta. I think we got one in Canada, of course. And
Texas too, eh?
I think it's Texas. Yeah, there's a group of students here.
Yeah.
And the beautiful thing about it is that spread Junkanoo around the world.
Yeah, that's what it's about, boss. We gotta, in order for it to grow, we gotta sell it.
Yeah.
And the only way we can sell it is we do it wherever we go. Don't it make sense? Boss, look here.
This is who he is.
But so, man, any other nationality, anywhere they go, it's be flaunt, right?
Yeah.
Don't pump fake, dog.
Yeah.
They come and they bring it. When Chinese come in the place, you get Kung Fung Hui all the place, boss. You get fry right here, you get fry right. Boss, I been in some places I never thought Chinese to be, boss. Huh? They got whole Chinatown and things.
Yeah.
Just most every U.S. city state got Chinatown, right?
You got Chinatown too.
You see what they saying? So what do they mean? You gotta represent yourself wherever you go, boss. This us. This us, my boy. This us, boy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I know, to roll up this segment, boy, you get any other serious thing you want to roll up in this segment? Just wait.
Wait.
Hey. Boss, if I roll one segment, boy, we can be here for another 30 minutes, because you know I go sideways
No,
fast.
we need a 30 minute. We need a 30-minute segment. We can talk. Our next 30 minutes could be right now on.
You know what I mean?
What we talking about, Bill?
So let me show you what's show you what's going on.
Point out.
Yeah. I can talk about that on another show, right? Because I ain't gonna touch that, because that can touch some
other
serious,
things.
some other things, you know what I mean?
All right.
But you gotta big up all the Junkanoos to travel and do Junkanoo, you know what I mean? Willingly, you know what I mean?
Junkanoo Commandos.
And then,
we call the names Junkanoo Commandos.
Yeah, but they get so much name, I don't even know all them. So I can't even call, I don't like calling names. I know it's
Florida Junkanoo Gods.
Yeah, they in Florida.
My producer laughing at me.
Yeah, but we get all these Junkanoos around the place, right? But on top on this like this. See, of course, this can march one or two toe too. I see Dwayne Ellis write a post, say, man, who I won't misquote him, but he was referencing the Junkanoo troop that went to Trinidad. He's like how they were selected.
A jungle troop in Trinidad recently?
For the Carifta.
Oh!
Right?
So he want
to know how they was if they being funded and who fund them, and if there's a selection process, knew how the selection process was carried out, because look like the same people, because he said that the young people in the group was asking when they can get a chance and opportunity to do this. You see what I'm saying? So it looked like the same old faces every year, and so that was a conversation. So now
that's how we have conversations. You have a topic.
See now, and that's the next thing now. A lot of people there on these trips because who you know. You know what I mean?
And then you have some people who they have through family members participating.
Yeah, man. And some people just there because they trying to get this little thing. And they available.
Yeah.
Now the thing is, just like any government job or anything, first of all we need to find out that the government if the government pay for this trip. Right? Who they give this contract to, this band of the tender.
Wait, you know what? This Junkanoo, boy. We getting too deep with all this stuff, man.
No, Papa, they ain't getting deep enough. It's a thing called opportunity. If you keep going on a show every year, me as a young Junkanoo looking to come up.
Let me ask you a question. If you didn't decide one day to take that camera out and start JNN, who's gonna start it for you?
Understand me?
No, hear me out though.
Yeah,
Hear me out.
If somebody else could have started
If you didn't take the initiative, exactly. If you didn't take the initiative to start it that day, then you wouldn't be sitting there right now, right?
Yeah.
So listen to me, hear me out. You know, we as a people, we always regressive. We always have something to say after the fact. That Junkanoo being going on in Carifta at least 10, 15, 20 years now, if I remember correctly. Now, back to my point with you and JNN. Here's where it comes together. Sometimes as people, we like to criticize too much. And everybody have the same opportunity to go there and do the exact same thing. You know what I'm saying? It's so easy. Opposition always easy to be your opposition, you know.
Yeah.
Hard to be in leadership, bro. Because someone always trying to bring you down. Someone always trying to bring somebody attention. So this is my point. Not to him. I'm not directing this to anybody. I'm just saying Junkanoos on the whole. There's plenty of opportunities for any young person to do anything they want to do. You know what they have to start to do? They have to go do it, boy. And they ain't got to be Junkanoo and they ain't got to be Carifta. There's plenty of other things around here we need Junkanoo for. We need someone to rush right now in Pompey Square. We need someone to rush right now downtown to the tourists. And then you see the problem is they want to know how much they're getting. That's the first question they're going to ask you. What we getting?
No, see,
when you start this, what you was getting?
No, but the point I'm trying to make here is, right, all these shows go on, and on most of these shows you see are the same people.
But if I have a show, that's my prerogative to bring on who I want to bring in though, bro.
Yeah,
that's my show. This is your show. You invite who you want to invite.
Yeah, but I invite, but I try to be fair.
Fair to who?
I gotta be fair to everybody.
Yeah, but you gotta understand though, it's couple things with better factor. You get quality, go availability, and then you have, let's just say, I put you on my show. I tell you the show for 8 o'clock. You showing up 8 o'clock and I supposed to be off 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
Plenty people don't be held accountable, especially Junkanoo.
Yeah.
So I can put you on my show and then I give you a dime and you ain't respectful of the dime, and then when the people call me, you ain't there.
Well, boss, you gotta give me an opportunity. Just like everybody say, you gotta give me an opportunity. Give me an opportunity.
You gotta have costume. Like how you always love your costume.
Yeah.
Everybody, you know.
Give me an opportunity.
And the costume has to be maintained. Not just because you have a costume once, you just don't show back up.
You gotta look out of this. You gotta give me an opportunity to fail. Don't fail me before I try.
I agree.
You know, you give me an opportunity to fail. Don't fail me before I try.
As a leader of a Junkanoo group, you're supposed to be creating opportunities for your members.
Yeah, not only that, boss. if you can represent the Bahamas, right? Was you kind of seeing people to represent the Bahamas all the time. I hardcore into this. I available. I get quality. I read all the criteria that is needed. But they ain't pick me, man. I want to represent my country too there.
What have you done to let that person know that you're interested? You can slide, you can put your slide on.
Just like John, just
hold
like.
on. You can put your slide on Facebook and say who's do this and who's do that. You think when it's time to pick, I can pick you?
No.
No.
I get back to the point we made on the last. Show.
We all men here, boy. I mean, not boy. We all men
No.
here. The right thing is this: we don't. Hey, too many people be doing slick things on social media. That's my point.
No, that's what.
Too much slick things on social media.
No,
we all men. Approach me as a man and say, look here, can we have a word with you? I will sit down with you.
No.
Instead of putting it out there.
No, let me show you now. That's where I can take a turn now. Just like how we say, how to join the Junkanoo group. Boom. That's the same way. How I can know who going to Carifta? How I can know?
You mean how you know who's going to Carifta?
Who I going to talk to together?
Carifta don't have a committee? We don't have the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture? They sure they know who in charge of Carifta.
So I gotta go to ministry and ask them who Junkanoo group they carry.
You interested or you ain't interested? I see what happened. You want me to come to you and say, hey, Denny, I want you to come go with me because I want you to come rush with me?
Boss.
I don't even know if you're interested.
We get a lot of subcontracts, boss. So the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture, just like they judgment, they see money for Junkanoo, but who's run Junkanoo?
In New Providence, JCNP?
My point exactly. So if I get into the ministry, now I look like I can be stepping on you. I told you supposed to be controlling the Junkanoo game in Carifta, but I gain above you.
You're only going to find out who do you see to see if you can be on this trip or you can get on the trip. How else you can find out who the person in charge is?
Most say don't know.
Man, they gotta know, bro.
Boss, you ever do business in the Bahamas?
You hear what you say just now?
You ever do business?
No.
You ever do business in the Bahamas?
Let's go back to your example. Your example was the government gives the money for Junkanoo, but who runs it? JCNP. Yeah. So we know who runs it.
Yeah.
So the same thing applies. We know that the Carifta committee in charge of Carifta, you guys go to them and say, listen to me, who is in charge of the Junkanoo to travel or even when in Nassau? Period. And furthermore, they asking this question about say people going instead of them saying, okay, we see a need. If they did track and field, who the swimming? So instead of complaining, try get your foot in the door.
For the
see, that's what I have a problem with Bahamians for.
Try lobby for the swimming.
You know what I mean? We can see what's going on over there and you say, well, how they get that? Nah, I get that's the first thing was coming on about instead of saying, okay, what can I do to help make that better, or what can I do to make something else better? That's our problem with Bahamians. That's my problem, Daddy. You know what we good at? We good at complaining, and we good at being Monday back quarterback.
I could go look at swimming and ask them who they want guy, where they any Junkanoo, they guy Junkanoo.
This how you go about that. You approach.
So I approach the swimming federation and say, boss, I need Junkanoo to go to the Carifta next year.
And this how we can work it out. We can need some sponsors, just a budget, and if you all interested, let me know.
Current on. Let's go.
A conversation and building a relationship. That's all it is.
You ready?
What you mean?
Where the swimming is next year, man?
I know. I know where it is, but I'm ready to go. Martinique, St. Martin, anywhere in the Caribbean, I'm ready to go.
Let's go, buddy.
Because outside the Bahamas and Jamaica, Cayman, ain't much more Caribbean islands I explore, bro. So I ready to go. All right then. That's in current.
Other than that, I've been St. Lucia. Other than that, boss, need to. Okay. Yeah, we had to roll over to Barbados and Antigua and Bermuda.
You did Barbados, eh?
No, I ain't do Barbados yet.
Okay, well, I bought a rubbing boy that time. That's from Trinidad.
Yeah, that was from Trini.
Oh, that was hot.
That's the single barrel.
Single barrel, boy.
That's the single barrel, Yeah, Caribbean Flying some Spirits is getting now.
I noticed that. Caribbean Flying some Spirits. That's the boy them. That's Coca-Cola?
Yeah. I
think Bucky and Brandy.
They got to give us a blind. We got to get a blind for that now, but we just.
But once again, see, that's how you build relationships. We just did a commercial for them, or we just promoted their product.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? But now, they don't even know we did that unless we say, okay, go on YouTube, we just promoted your product. We don't say, give us something, we just say, keep us in consideration for the future or whatever. That's the conversation. Don't go on Facebook and say, oh, who in charge of this? Who in charge? See how it comes across?
Yeah.
It comes across like you hating almost. Like you have like, instead of you being like, in the interest of, I wouldn't even, see Facebook, that's the problem right there.
Social media run the world now, boy.
I understand that, but they just bro.
But you can imagine.
If you behind
you can imagine a world now without social media.
Actually, yeah, because I was here before it was social media. I
say you can imagine the current world now. Let me rephrase that. The current world without social media. A lot of people wouldn't be nothing. Because social media made them.
You're right.
No? Well, on that note, we can end the segment of Jerry Junkanoo neck, because it's coming in hot. But I just like a blank canvas, you know. Yeah. But there's so much you can talk about a blank canvas, and by sometimes I get anyway.
You realize you did 2 shows just now?
Ah, well. But
I don't think you realize you did 2 shows just now.
Every show is be 2 shows fast.
You pause it right now for the second pause, but you don't realize you do the second 2. Hey, wait, you do 2 already. You do 2 already, boss?
Anyway, on behalf of myself, aka Top Class, my producer, Mr. Silent Son.
Me, who they say don't talk enough, but I don't talk loud enough. This paparazzi.
The paparazzi, the cameraman. We have just watched another solid episode of the thing called Double Rock, boy. We had a rocket wide open. Live and I went boom, 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 boom. My drum bass.